In the United States Senate, Democrats are preparing to put on the floor for a vote a piece of legislation that would simply say women in America have the right to use birth control. That's it. I mean, the language is a little more flowery than that, but that's the essence of it. It doesn't talk about abortion. It doesn't talk about morning after pills, which are not abortifacients, by the way. Morning after pills prevent implantation. They prevent fertilization, actually. Doesn't talk about IUDs, which prevent implantation. It doesn't talk about any of that stuff. It just says women have the right to birth control in the United States. Condoms, birth control pills. I guess that would be it. IUDs. And it's going to be real interesting. Keep an eye on this. This vote is probably going to happen in the next 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours. And it's going to tell us an awful lot about what's going on with the GOP right now. Republican, and let me just give you some examples. This is from Lauren Weber over in the Washington Post yesterday. Republican lawmakers in Missouri blocked a bill to widen access to birth control pills by falsely claiming they induce abortions. An anti-abortion group in Louisiana killed legislation to enshrine a right to birth control by inaccurately equating emergency contraception with abortion drugs. An Idaho think tank focused on biblical activism is pushing state legislators to ban access to emergency contraception and IUDs by mislabeling them as abortifacients. The personhood movement to endow an embryo with human rights has animated the debate around in vitro fertilization. I mean, this is what's going on right now. The Republicans, she goes on to note, Republicans in at least 17 states have blocked largely Democratic-led attempts to pass laws assuring the right to birth control since 2022. Most recently, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, Republican, vetoed a bill meant to ensure access to contraceptives. He said, "I'm loath to trample on the religious freedoms of Virginians." Right. And Trump recently said on TV that he's open to restricting access to contraception. So we're going to have this vote tonight. In Missouri, State Representative Tara Peters said she was shocked when the bill she co-sponsored to allow women to pick up a year's worth of birth control pills. Right now, typically, you can only get 30 days or 90 days from your pharmacy. She just wanted to make it easy for women. You can get a year's worth. I mean, these aren't things that you can overdose on, right? You could take a year's worth of birth control pills and your body will just say, yeah, my hormones are off for a day or two, apparently. So anyhow, she co-sponsored this legislation. It was blocked by Republicans because it had to do with birth control pills. She said, and I quote, this is what the Missouri State Representative Tara Peters, she said, "It was Republican men. It surprises me that the ones who know nothing about these types of things are the ones who are making the decisions." And, you know, the fact is most Americans don't understand the difference between birth control pills. Well, they don't know how IUDs work. They don't know how birth control pills work. They don't know how morning after pills work. None of them produce abortions, by the way. And they don't know how the actual, like mifepristone, the drugs that actually do produce abortion, how they work. And they have horrible misconceptions about how safe they may be. Mifepristone actually has a higher safety profile than aspirin does. So we got some work to do. You know, Jessica called earlier about this, you know, was very upset about how the Republicans are, and she made the point, and I think it's worth amplifying. I didn't know this until Jessica told me, and I searched it while we were on the air, and sure enough, that if a woman takes birth control pills throughout her life, her risk of getting uterine cancer or ovarian cancer is one or the other. I'd have to, let me go back and look. Ovarian cancer. Her risk of getting ovarian cancer is reduced by up to 50%. And Jessica, who has ovarian cancer in her family, says that, you know, she was told by her physician that it was an 80% reduction in risk because it's in her family. I mean, this is real stuff. We're talking life and death issues for women, and Republicans are playing politics around it, playing footsie with these religious whack jobs.